Hello, welcome to Cadence Radio. This is Wimaloo. It's December 1st today. Big news for the past 2 weeks. We experienced lots of events here. Just want to get a hold and let you guys know what's happening there. And I'll get my opinions on it. I got a feeling that we're going to have a big month this month. First things first, as someone that passed away, very, very big, important person down south in the United States, George Bush Sr., passed away at the age of 94. Lots of mixed emotions on my Twitter feed about what he stood for, what he did with the country, what he did for the country. I'll give you a little bit of history about George W. Bush, H.W. Bush, actually. He was head of CIA for a bit. For me, now he can be judged by the man above, or the universe, I call it. Whatever karma you throw out is going to come back to you tenfold. Bad or good. For me, it's just the beginning of the end. I think he was the leader of one of the biggest, or still the biggest, criminal cartels in the United States who have infiltrated the government. The CIA is probably one of the most corrupt organizations ever. And you see it there. All started with drug running. Everybody knew about that drug running up in Arkansas. The Condolistas, trading drugs for weapons and trying to throw a coup out into one of the armies. And the CIA have been continuing until that day. Lots of people have been displaced. Lots of people have died. And it's one of the biggest money rackets ever. When I say down the States, if you're dealing crack, if you're dealing cocaine, if you're a drug dealer, you're basically working for the CIA and you don't even know it. But when push comes to shove and they have someone to blame, it's going to be one of the little small time nickel and dime drug dealers. And basically it's like a vicious circle. You get in jail, they take your money, now you're a slave to the system, and you're working for free or doing whatever you got to do. The biggest people have gone down, I think the CIA. Nicky Barnes worked for the CIA. Pablo Escobar worked for the CIA. It's a big organization with a lot of criminals. And the head of that CIA, guess who he was? Mr. George H.W. Bush. Even when he was president, he was still getting briefings. Even if he was the only retired president who was still getting briefings from the CIA. Only retired CIA director who was still getting briefings from the CIA. Now you tell me what that is. He's going to be judged by the actions he has done. And he has put a lot of lives, a lot of countries in chaos because of that. And it is not fortunate, but it's kind of how the timing went. Now, what's happening, there was a hearing which was supposed to happen on December 5th about the Clinton Foundation. Mr. Huber was supposed to come out and have some very damning evidence on the Clinton Foundation. But now, since Mr. Bush passed away, it's a nation of mourning on December 5th. So I don't think that hearing is going to happen. But it is the beginning of the end. You can see it. They have, this deep state has nothing. They're falling like flies. And they're just trying to buy their time. But the writing is on the wall. You can see it now. I love the tweet Mr. President Trump sent over about a lot of people in prison. pictures. It got a lot of pushback from these media types. And honestly, guys, I'll tell you this right now: do not believe this mainstream media. It is a joke. It's a joke. I used to watch CNN. I used to get. It's nothing. It's not news anymore. It is just opinionated people, not even putting any facts in, saying that Mr. Trump is going to be arrested because he was talking to Russia about a hotel in Russia he was trying to build. Hence that he is a businessman, hence that he is a real estate mogul who can talk to Russia. But honestly, what he did was not against the law. So whatever Mr. Cohen, he's already been perjured himself in the beginning, saying that there was no Russian collusion. Now he's saying that now he was talking to Russians. It doesn't matter. It was over a hotel. It was a deal which did not go through at all. And because he was running for president. So he put everyone's business dealings off. So I don't know what kind of red tape or red light or whatever the media's throwing out, saying that always for be damned. But like honestly, guys, you're a businessman, and you can look right through it. These guys have nothing. They're just fishing, and they're fishing for time and trying to carry this on. But they got their time, and that was the death of Mr. Bush, who's probably one of the heads of that deep state. It was bound to happen. The guy was 94. He was pissing in a pan. He couldn't move. He couldn't walk. His wife just passed away. So it does happen that way. If you're with somebody for that long, they pass away. You're bound to pass away, and pretty soon. That's how it is. You're symbiont that way when you're with somebody that long. All I gotta say is, prayers to the Bush family. But honestly, y'all, you have to repent for your father's sins, because this is just the beginning, and it's coming in a wave right now. And what it showed me about that National Day of Mourning, and having his body rest from the 1st all the way to the 4th, and have National Day of Mourning to the 5th, it just basically pushes it. That's all the time they can push, because they have nothing anymore. They have no collusion. They have nothing. The world is passing by. The world is going without these people. They don't have the button. They don't have the hands on the button anymore to push us around. And I just implore you guys, just research, and whatever story they throw out in the media, you go back if you do have time, and just look at the facts, because they're not spewing any facts. They're spewing you to different paths and different things, and they're not giving you 100% of that story. So I implore you to look at it. Twitter, Google, all these people, YouTube is part of the culprit too. They talk about they're a platform, but they're not a platform anymore. They're a publisher. They want to get rid of people. They want to suspend people for having opinions which defer to what their agenda wanted to be, and it's getting ridiculous. And hopefully, class action lawsuits come about to these people, to this company, and it gets broken apart, and publicize it. Whatever you put on YouTube is yours. And no one can tell you either to take it off or not, because this is ridiculous. Like one of the biggest voices I've been following is Miss Liz Crokin. She put out her Twitter. It got suspended. She put a secondary one out. They suspend her again. They suspend one of the congressmen, Mr. Pearson, but it was for error or whatever like that. But this is kind of getting ridiculous. And then you got other, and they say that they spew hate speech and stuff. They're just spewing research. That's all they're doing. Liz Crokin has been researching child sex abuse for the longest time. And child sex trafficking. She's spewing out facts. She's asking a question. She's asking. And she's just planting that seed into everybody who follows her to research it. And lots of people who have researched it have come to the conclusion that her facts are basically almost 100% truthful. So you guys got to listen. You got to listen. Do not listen to these CNNs. Do not listen to MSNBCs. Do not even listen to Fox. You know, they've done a disservice to us as a public, to us as the world. They've caused invasion of Iraq, killing over 1 million people. They have caused an invasion in Libya, killing over 1 million people. And they don't spew anything. Like, how ridiculous do people think? How do they think that we are when they say that this Benghazi attack was caused by a video some guy produced or directed hating on Islam, so people raided that compound and killed 4 innocent lives. Ridiculous. It was, and I'll tell you what the facts are. Gaddafi was going to take Libya off the American dollar, and he was going to make an own African dollar. That was one side. The other side was Hillary Clinton was trafficking guns through that embassy to her rebels to try to start this coup. And they got found out on, and innocent people died. They wanted protection because that's what they were doing over there. I don't know if they were really innocent, if you're really trafficking guns into a country so that they can slaughter their people. So that's the real story. That's the research you guys should be doing, not some tape or whatever is happening. That's one. I got enough stories. I got enough to keep on going. But the biggest thing right now I want to talk about is that George W. Bush's funeral, how it affects what the timeline is going to be. The Clinton Foundation is going down. And to tell you the truth, on December 4th, before that, Jeffrey Epstein, finally, the kids he was trafficking, the kids he was prostituting out in his mansion, kids, 12, 13 years old, 10 years old women. I mean girls, actually. Prostitute him out in his mansion. They get to speak on the 4th of December. So you tell me, with all those happening, and it's a coincidence that, to me, I think it's a coincidence that all of a sudden Mr. Bush died. Now you don't see, now everything's going to get pushed back into the media because everybody will be concentrating on this funeral. And I don't know if it's going to go on, but the biggest one was the Jeffrey Epstein, because there's going to be a lot of, when these ladies come out and start talking, there's going to be a lot of people who are implicated. And like I said, guys, it is the beginning of the end. And we're going to either, the power, like Mr. Trump said, is getting thrown back to the people. And when we find out what the truth is, or how long we've been lied to, how we've been in war. Since I was born, there's been always a war in this country. There's always a war in this world, since I was born. And I'm 39 going on 40. There's always been a war. You know, my parents, same thing. There's always been a war since they were born. This is ridiculous, man. You know, we need to, these people, these demons need to leave. The earth is exercised. The universe is actually exercising all these people to get the hell out. And I'm kind of proud of that. You know, either they're dead or in prison. That's what's happening. But now we need to change our course now. We need to change our course of the future to see where we can go. Where we can go as a species. Because our species are not meant to be destroyed. We're meant to ascend. We're meant to keep on going. We're not meant to destroy each other. We're meant to basically come one with the universe. Because there's a lot of other species in this universe who have done that. And it's for us to do it now. Because yeah, it's time. It is time. And what the case coming out, the Espin case is going to be big because it's just going to go down. It's how I don't know how it's, what do they call that? It's not ironic. It's just basically the sands of time and how everything's going to be intertwined. If that Espin case goes through and those ladies the ladies are going to testify, are going to say it, and then on the 5th of December you have the Clinton Foundation, the whistleblowers coming out there. You're going to see how those two are intertwined together. Because the Clinton Foundation has a lot of traffic. There's a lot of thing about trafficking. No one knows this started way back in Arkansas when Bill Clinton and Mrs. Hillary Clinton were a bunch of little drug peddlers. They peddled drugs through Arkansas. That's how Arkansas got all the money. That's how they did it. But those guys don't stop now. Those guys are grifters. The grifters. They didn't stop there. What else can you traffic? What are the three biggest trafficking things in three biggest money makers for the CIA? Trafficking drugs, trafficking human beings, and of course war is the other one. But those two, trafficking drugs and trafficking humans, are the biggest money makers of this deep state. And the Clinton Foundation, the Espin, he's just a little lackey who got caught, who's a rich boy who got caught. And I'm glad he got caught, and I hope he goes back to prison. And that's coming out. But when George Bush died, they try to hold what's coming out. They're scared as shit. And don't be surprised if in another week, next week, because everything happens in threes. So after Mr. Bush died, I'm going to tell you this right now. Probably next week, another big name is going to die, and they're going to try to delay it even more. And I'll tell you that right now, because they have nothing else. They have nothing else to go on. They have no evidence. They have no ammunition anymore. Everybody they bought out is turning on them, because people get sick of this shit. They get sick of it till the core, man. Hillary Clinton's coming to Canada, and she's coming to Canada. And she's trying to give us. Why am I going to listen to that lady? Why am I going to listen to Mr. Clinton? Why am I going to listen to them? They're peddling. They're coming in rallies, and you got to pay to sit for 2 hours to listen to hack a long lady trying to talk, and then you kind of listen to Mr. Rapist try to talk too. Come on now, it's ridiculous. Ridiculous. And $6, they're not even selling anything out because they know that the time is done. They're trying to run time. And they're basically that 13 city tour is to get money for the defense. For the defense when they're in court. But that court's not going to be a defense. It's a military court. And listen to me when I say it. The military is the one who's behind this. They've been trying to get these people out of the government, trying to get them out of the country for the longest time. Since 1913. It goes back into that. Or even back in the day, since slavery days, it's been going back to get these guys out of the country. But now the tides have turned. It's coming, and it's coming big. Hopefully, Mr. Trump runs for president again for the next 4 years, because he needs to drain it. And it's coming on top of coming over here, and I'm kind of really insulted and very upset and disappointed when the G20 summit was getting held, and one of the most historical pacts have done the USMCA deal between Canada, USA, and Mexico, and Mr. Trudeau would not hold up the signature. Why won't you hold the signature up, man? It's a big partnership which is going to help our country in the long run. But you pout like a little girl and don't hold it up, and that tells them that that partnership is not null and void with Canada, and that they're probably going to have issues with it. You're not a leader, man. You're a little boy who needs to get out of there and stop funneling most of our Canadian taxpayers' money into your dad's foundation, the one you have hidden in the Cayman Islands somewhere. We need a real leader. We need a prime minister who stand up for the people. And Mr. Trudeau's not the one standing up for people. And I'll tell you this, back in the day when he was the first prime minister, he laid oath to the Queen. He didn't lay oath to the people of Canada. And that's a very telling sign that he'll lay whatever she says, it goes. And that ain't cool with me. And I'm a Canadian citizen. And yeah, I bleed red. I love this country. This country has given me, my family has given me a place above my head. Has given me opportunities to become a better person, a better husband, and a better father. And I don't want to see it crumble because of special interest groups, Mr. Trudeau. But all I gotta say here is, guys, is look for what's happening this week. Please look at that trial. It might be blacked out. So what I'm gonna get you guys to do, I'm gonna explain. Gonna get a couple people. I want you guys to follow if you can. Mr. Jordan Sather, please follow him because he will be talking about that. Dustin Nemos, X22 report, SGT report, Liz Crokin, if she's still on YouTube, Tracy Beans, all the truth and fact searchers, the people who want to see the truth come out, disclose this evil, and basically root it out for good. So this week's gonna be a big one. You can even follow me too. You know, I will be posting at the end of this week for sure. It's probably going to be maybe on Friday when I get back from work, because I want to see how everything goes. It's going to be a great week, and if you don't hear anything about it, I'll still be posting still, and probably we'll see maybe the trial next week. But something's given, and something is going to be big. I got a feeling that Mr. Trump is going to declassify the FISA memo. And by the way, the worst thing you guys should know about this, Mr. Obama, all these deep state guys, they actually spied on a candidate and tried to basically throw him out of office on a fake report. And they weaponized the government on this guy vying for political office. That is one of the most treasonous things ever. When the government can put crap on you, plant evidence on you, try to take you down for shit you did not do. These people need to go. They need to go from in the States. They need to go from here, because here there are some people like that, and it's all intertwined. It's all a big group, and this group need to be weeded out. They're on all corners of the world. They need to be done with. That's all I gotta say. Peace.